Crazy. Don't know how I did that, but I had the volume turned off. I'm pretty special like that. Yep, it's true. I am. I'm pretty special like that. It is. Today has been a crazy day. Today is the day that Stampin' Up, you know, the company that I share beautiful things with you about, just announced today their brand new annual catalog that is available now online for demonstrators. Hi, Becky. And will be available for us to send to our customers the beginning of May. So if you are a demonstrator, you'll get a copy of it in the mail. If you are a customer of mine and you would love to have a catalog, I would love to send you one. So make sure that you drop me a little email. I emailed everybody that I could think of this afternoon and said, hey, if you want a new catalog, tell me so I can give you one. And as soon as I can order them, which is next week, sorry, I had to look at my calendar. And as soon as I get them, I will be popping them in the mail and sending them out. Hey, Joyce, how are you? When you're here, ladies, jump on and say hello. Happy Wednesday. We're going to do some fun stamping tonight. I watched a friend of mine make these cards last week. Her name's Monica. She lives in Stafford, Virginia. And I thought they were so gorgeous, I wanted to remake them and share them with you. So let's get started. And when I flip you around, you're going to get to see the cover of the new catalog that's coming. And we're going to talk about a few other things, but let's get you flipped around. You've had enough of looking at this old mug. Okay, you ready? You get to look at me online. Hi, Susan. There, look, it's me looking at you, looking at me. All right, and into the holder we go. Right here. Oh, and I think we've made it. Ha! And look, here is the brand new. This is the brand new catalog that is coming the beginning of May. So I'd love to send you one if you'd love to have one. Just drop me a little note. Laurascardsbydesign at gmail.com, and I will send this to you. Now, this is much bigger than the catalog because I printed it out today. Now, I can't show you the inside, but I can show you the cover, and you can see some of the new colors on here, kind of a little sneak peek. Some new colors and some returning colors. And, of course, some of our old favorites are going away, and that happens. You know, the flowers you put in the vase, real flowers that you put in the vase just don't last forever. So our colors need to be refreshed and brought more current and up to date. And if you take a look at what is trending for colors, you may see some of these, recognize some of these colors that are on here. This isn't all of them, but this is some of them. And I will be posting later on this week all of the new colors and all of the colors that are retiring. But I just want to give you a little peek right now of some of the things that are going to be retiring. And don't be sad, because there's other colors coming in their place. So Bermuda Bay, Blushing Bride, Mango Melody, and Never Say Never. Just remember that, because colors do come back. We know that we have a couple of colors that are coming back. Pretty Peacock is returning. What else is returning? Lost Lagoon, Berry Burst. What else? I know more and I can't think of them now. But anyway, Mint Macaron. These are retiring. Mint Macaron, Pacific Point. Don't look at my ink pads because I use these a lot. So can you tell? I got ink all over them. Pear Pizzazz, Rich Razzleberry, Sahara Sand, Soft Suede, and So Saffron. Plus 4 of the in colors are retiring. We get to keep fresh freesia, but polished pink, soft succulent, evening evergreen, and pale papaya will be retiring as well. And we have some that are coming back. So yeah, so those are retiring colors. If you like any of these colors, I would suggest you order them right now, because now that this announcement is out, these things are gonna go like hotcakes. So I also announced a special today, a March Madness special. When you go to my website with a different host code, not this one, a different host code, and I sent that email as well, and I popped it up on Facebook so you will see it, and you order $50 or more between now and midnight on the 31st, I'm going to send you the 4 cards we're going to make tonight for free. You'll have to stamp them, but I will die cut or punch and cut everything for you. And I'm going to send you this pack of gold and silver 1/8 millimeter trim free. So this is $9 value. I'm going to send it to you free, plus the cards. So isn't that awesome? So be looking in your email for that. If you don't get emails from me, let me know. I would love to send them to you. And we're going to use this gold trim tonight. We're going to replace the linen thread that I had used on some cards with the gold trim. So I'm going to get this ready. I'm going to just pop it open. There is 5 yards of each in here. So you're going to get 10 yards of trim, and it is easy and flexible. It's easy enough to use to tie a bow or whatever you want to do. So we're going to do that tonight. So if you have any questions, reach out and ask, and let's get started. Let's do some stamping. I can't lose my catalog. I have stuff everywhere tonight. So the stamp set we're going to use is Tropical Leaf, and we're going to use the Tropical Leaf Punch. I know I'm rushing spring a little bit, but I feel like it's time for some greenery around here. So I'm going to use almost everything in here. I have them all mounted on blocks except for one sentiment. Look at that. And this bundle is $37.75. You can buy them individually, or you can buy them as a bundle. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to remind you. Cardstock envelopes are, price increases are happening everywhere, and right now price increases are going to happen with the new catalog as it becomes available in May. So order your stock now. Stock up on your cardstock, your envelopes, your re-inkers, your ink, whatever it is that you think that you want. There are some price increases coming. This is going to be our first card tonight. I'm so excited to do this. We're going to do a little stamping. Now, I have done a little bit of the embossing for us already. I've used the, excuse me, radiating rectangle dies, and because I just love that look, on a piece of gray granite cardstock. We have, look on the inside of a card. It looks like we're going to have to cut some pieces because I don't have all my bits here, but that's okay. And I know that I have some bits that are just kind of floating around, and I couldn't really figure out why. We're going to use a piece of this detailed embossing paper. Can you see that? This is in the mini catalog. It's called the Vellum Basics Designer Series paper, and it's got leaves on it, and I want to stamp on it. So we're going to do that first because when you stamp on vellum, it takes a little bit longer to dry. So we're going to get that done first, and it's going to be 2 steps. We're going to stamp first with our stamp, and we're going to let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to come back and we're going to stamp the veins. So let me get some things together here. I got blocks everywhere. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Let's see, what color do we want? We're gonna do a little, soft succulent, if I can reach it. It's behind me here. Because we're gonna cut our leaves out of soft succulent as well. And we wanna stamp off on our vellum. So I'm gonna ink up my stamp and stamp it off, and then I'm gonna stamp on my vellum. I want a nice soft leaf in the background. And I'm just gonna stamp 3 of them on here. Nice soft leaves. You know, soft, gentle colors. There we go. Now we're gonna let this dry a bit, and then we'll come back and we'll stamp some more. While we're waiting for that, we'll put that stamp away. We're gonna come back to it. We are gonna stamp on, on this piece of soft succulent, just the veins. I know, sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? But we're gonna stamp some veins. We'll stamp 1, we'll stamp 2. We're gonna grab the punch. What did I do with it? Girls, you saw me with it. Let's get these punched out, and then we'll come back and we'll do another one. Just kind of, we're making veins. So what have you been doing, girls, since I saw you on, oh, thank you, Susan. Since I saw you on Sunday night. Oh, now I punched it out and I hadn't even stamped it yet. That's all right. We can get there. We're just gonna lay it down, bring in our ink, and stamp our vein right on there. Ta-da! Clean our stamp off just a skosh, because we're going to be using that over and over tonight. And then, of course, we're going to stamp in soft succulent our sentiment, which really says thanks so much. Well, let's grab that stamp right here. Thanks so much. And I think we'll stamp it in garden green. So let's ink up our stamp, and we're going to cut this out on our own, because I like that look. Okay, now before we go, we're gonna let this, oh, that was terrible, Laura. I must have drug it through the mud. Let's try again. Yeah, better. We like that one better. Let's bring our leaves. We've given them a little second. Now you could use a heat tool and dry these more if you wanted, but I don't need to do that. I'm going to take my garden green. I'm going to stamp off again with my ribs. Is that what you call them? The ribs in the stamp. Again, we just want that soft, gentle look on our vellum. I love the look of stamped vellum. What about you? Tell me what you've done. Oh, Bethy, you haven't checked out the new catalog yet? You gotta go look. Well, not during the live, but you gotta go look at it. So there's our leaves stamped on our vellum with the soft succulent that we stamped off, and then the garden green ribs in the middle that is also stamped off. We're gonna let that dry. Let's bring in some scissors and let's, I had the trim caught in my scissor handles. Let's just trim this out a little. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. I just kind of want a little bit of movement, I guess, in my paper. So I am moving the paper. So has anybody taken a peek at the catalog yet? Have you seen it? There we go. Around the corner here, up and around. Thanks so much. All right, there's our thanks so much. I am kind of squishing up our leaves a little bit. I want to give them a little bit of, I'm not throwing them away, I promise. But I just wanted to give them a little texture to them. I don't want them to be flat. So just kind of squishing them up here. All right, let's do some fun stuff here. So we have our basic gray card base. We're gonna grab some basic white and we're gonna cut a piece of basic white to go right in the inside. So we're gonna cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. So let's go 5 1/4. I had the pieces and yeah, I used them for something else. So it's been a day around here. And tomorrow, I promise, tomorrow at noon, we will do class number 2 for our fancy fun fold series. So if you have, ooh, banging things up there. If you have a chance, please, please, please join me and say hello, watch the video. If you don't have time to do that, that's perfectly fine. But make sure that you watch the replay later. And of course, share it with your friends. And, you know, just be happy with this. I want to put a little leaf on the inside of my card. So we're just going to pop on a little soft succulent leaf, and I'm stamping upside down, which is kind of crazy for me. If you know me, upside down is kind of crazy. So there we go. All right, you'll try to remember. Oh, Susan, you're so good at remembering things. Thank you for popping on and being with me. All right, so we have the inside of our card. Let's put a little seal on there and get that ready to go. Oh, much later. Once I finish this tonight and upload the video, I can't wait to take my catalog and sit down in my cozy chair and go through it and mark it up. I've already started my list, girls. Oh, yes, you are, Susan. Stop. Stop. I've already started marking my catalog, ladies. Anybody know anybody that wants to buy a kidney? Because I may have to sell one. But that's okay. I know I have all year to buy things from the catalog, but I always want it all right now. So I love this look of the tone on tone. I love that look. Now we're going to carefully take our stamped vellum, and I'm saying carefully because I don't want to mess it up, and I'm just popping a little adhesive on the back, and we're going to lay it right over. Gotta cut it first. We're going to lay it right over, but I need to cut it first. So what did if you were my paper trimmer, where did you go? And if you were my ruler, where did you go? Because I do want to measure and see how big we want it to be. So I think we want it to be about 2 3/4 by 4. Okay. So we're gonna trim off a little bit here, and then I'm going to turn it around. We want this to be about 4 inches, so it gives us a little bit of space, and we want it to be about 2 3/4. So we're going to trim up pretty darn close to this edge. And of course I have adhesive already on the back here. Yeah, but that's okay. And we're going to trim a little bit more this way. Just trying to be gentle here. That's how we trim. Let's pop this piece on. And of course you saw that I used dimensionals on the bottom side. Oh, you know what I didn't even talk about? I didn't even talk about this designer series paper that we're using. It's from the dry brushed metallic, and it comes in 3 colors: Cajun Craze, Petal Pink, and Soft Succulent. And believe it or not, that looks kind of blue, but it really is Soft Succulent. It's gorgeous. I love it. But I want to just pop, that's going to bring our sparkle. We're just going to pop a piece of that on here. Boop, boop. Just laying it across the middle. We're just bringing those layers. I love layers. I love putting things together and making them. I just love them. All right, we are going to use dimensionals. Dimensionals. Girls, I didn't even ask you tonight. I just am doing this, and I'm really working hard to get these cards all done. And look, we're still on card number 1. I might only get 3 of them done tonight, but that's okay. There'll still be 4 cards, and I'll post them that way. So let's pop our dimensional backs off here. And we're just gonna lay them on. We're gonna get a little bit of the soft color that we've put onto our vellum and our leaves that kind of have been squished up. Just popping them on there. I just love that look. And I'm not going to put a bow. I'm just going to take our ribbon and I'm going to put a little adhesive in here, and we're just going to give it the look of a bow. I'm doing a lazy bow. Yeah, doing a lazy bow. True story. And let's just kind of smush it on here. Doesn't have to be much, just a little color. And if only you could see my fingers flipping them off to the side. And we're just bringing that gold right in. And let's add some bling. I want to use these flat backed adhesive dots. Flat backed pearls, sorry. Called them the wrong thing. Because they'll pick up that gold color a little bit. So I just want to grab a couple. I think I'm going to use all small ones on here. And I'm going to pop one up here. And maybe we'll pop one down here. There we go. Oh, I'm going to move this one. I'm not really loving it there. But let's put it, we'll put it there. That's our first card. Thanks so much. Oh, got a little piece of paper in there. So that was pretty easy once we got started on it. But see, I just changed up the texture from being flat. I wanted to give it a little bit more of a realistic look and pull that card out. So there's first card. Let's get our second one going here. I'm going to show you what we got. We got a thanks so much, and we're going to do a little rock and roll stamping on here. I've already taken a piece of soft succulent and die cut it with the basic 3D embossing folder. Die cut it. Embossed it with the embossing folder. We have a basic white card base. Just, you know, like we normally have. I'm going to give it a little zhuzh here. We have a piece of designer series paper from the Design Your Daydream host paper that is in the current annual catalog that I have, no kidding girls, I'm still using the first 48 sheets that I have because it's just so beautiful. It's a little bit, just a little bit. Another piece of that vellum that we used before. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put some right in the center because we're going to layer over it so you won't know that we have those layers in there. A piece of petal pink cardstock and our piece of soft seafoam. I get too many S's going on. We're going to layer these pieces together and they're going to lay on top here. But before we do that, we're going to put a ribbon around it. I'm going really fast on this card, I know, but it won't take us long, I promise. So I heard a great hint the other day when you are tying ribbon around your cardstock, especially thin ribbon like this, in order to get it to lay tight, give your card a little bit of a squeeze as you're building it, and it will, when you're building your card, it will help it to lay, your ribbon to lay tighter. Oh, I did a terrible job of that, laying that on there straight. Let's pick that up. Holy moly. I don't know what I was doing. It's probably yakking. All right, we're gonna try it again because it was a little crooked. So we're gonna give it a little pull it nice and tight. Hold my ribbon down if I can only get a hold of it with my finger. There we go. Now we're working it. Now we're working it. Pull it through, and look, we got a nice tight, lays nice and flat to our card base. We're gonna slide this, we're gonna adhere this right onto our next layer, and then we're gonna stamp and punch our leaves and add our sentiment. There we go. Now I should have added my sentiment before I embossed my paper, but I was in a hurry and trying to do things so I could be ready for you, and I messed it. Well, I didn't mess it up. I'm just going to do it a different way right now. So there we go. We got that done. We have our envelope. Let's grab a piece of paper, piece of basic white, and our glorious stamp that we had again. This time we're going to use a little parakeet party, and we're going to ink our stamp, and then we're going to kind of just run our stamp. I'm going to grab a blending brush, and I'm going to just dab a little ink from our garden green right around on my parakeet party. And we're going to give it a little. Isn't that cool? I love that. And we're going to ink up again. We're going to add a little more. Just kind of, let's stamp another one. I love adding extra color, kind of giving it some extra dimension. It doesn't have to be a lot. And if I put this right on my stamp, I would call it rocking and rolling. I'm calling it sponge and daubing. Sponge and daubing, that's what we're doing. 1, 2, 3. And let's do it one more time. because on the inside of our card, we're going to add one. The 1, 2, 3. I'm just kind of catching the edges and right up the middle. And let's add one. This time, let's put it right down here. And then we're going to stamp again. We're just going to move over just a skosh, and then one more the opposite way. I'm cleaning my stamp at the same time, but doesn't that just give it so much dimension? And then if you want, you can come in with your ribs. I guess that's what we're calling them, is ribs, and add some ribs to it if you want. We're not going to do that on these. We are just going to punch them out and add them to our card. So I'm going to close up some ink because you know me and you know that I'm gonna make a mess. So I'm telling you, I'm loving this stamp set. Are you feeling the tropical vibes? I feel like we could be so tropical here. Crink, crink, crink. So ladies, have you made all of your plans for Easter yet? Because I haven't even started. I asked my husband about it last night and he looked at me and said, when's Easter? So I don't know what everybody else is doing. It might just be him and I and the Easter Bunny. I can remember the days when we would have big family gatherings here, but now our family has their own family and it's hard to get everybody together. I'm waiting to add my sentiment because I'm trying to decide if I want to risk stamping on my embossed paper or if I want to just put a sentiment on the inside, or if I want to add something. So I'm just kind of holding out here for a second. We'll figure it out. Let's put this one, let's go this way. Kind of hang off the edge there. I feel like, you know what, we're going to do it. We're going to do it, ladies. We're going to say thanks so much, but only if I can figure out what I did with the stamp. I'm going to clean it, dry it off. And I think we'll do it in, do you think you want to do it? Let's do it in Parakeet Party. Do we have a scrap? Let's see what Parakeet's Party will look like. Do we want that color? I think I want it darker. All right, I think not Parakeet Party. I think let's go with Garden Green. Are you good with that? You won't get mad at me, right? I hope I don't mess it up. Here we go. We've got a nice ink job on here. I'm going to take off a little bit of ink that I got on the stamp block itself. And we are just going to stamp thanks so much. I am going to be all set. Oh, that's not too bad. I am going to be all set with thank you cards for a little bit. And birthday cards, because yesterday I sat and made 9 birthday cards. So I put a little bit of ink on my blending pen, and I'm just cleaning up my H so it can say thanks so much. There we go. We got it, girls. That is awesome sauce. All right, I gotta clean that. We're gonna clean our block, clean it, clean it. I am gonna be covered in green ink by the time my evening is over. That's card 2. Woohoo! How we doing on time? That was fast card. That was fast card. Okay, card number 3. Card number 3. Card number 3, I want to do this one before I do this one. I just changed my mind. We're going to do a fancy fold card. But can you see what we're going to put on here? We're going to use some of that gold gilding. We need a piece of paper that is This is Mossy Meadow, and I embossed it with the Stripes and Splatters 3D embossing folder. And we are going to do our yes, that's what they're called, leaves. We're going to use for them this time, we're going to use some Mossy Meadow and some Garden Green. Nope. We're going to use Mossy Meadow and Pear Pizzazz. Changed my mind. Mossy Meadow and Pear Pizzazz. So we're going to stamp two in Pear Pizzazz. Stamp 2. Let's see what it's, I think that might be a little dark to do at full strength, so let's stamp off and do 1 Pear Pizzazz with a little tip again of Mossy Meadow with our little blending brush. Again, we could have rock and rolled, but I'm going to Stampin' sponge and try not to wear it because I want to put some of that gold leafing on here as well. Ooh. And maybe a little less on the next one of the Mossy Meadow. So we get a little bit more variation in color. There we go. I'm liking that. And then we're going to use the smaller leaf and do the same thing all over again. This one we will have to fussy cut, but it will only take a minute. And I'm putting a little bit on there. We're gonna pop it right on. Beautiful. Let's do that one again because I feel like I might be a little close to the edge. So that's the beauty of this, you know. When I make a mistake, I don't ever tell you guys anything different other than I made a oops. Yeah, better. All right, now let's put our Pear Pizzazz to the side for a minute. Bring in our Mossy Meadow and our veins. And let's put a vein on here. And I'm not gonna re-ink, I'm just gonna put another vein on here. And that takes care of that one. We did double duty. And then we're gonna use the smaller vein. If you were the smaller vein, where would you be? You'd be right here. And let's pop some smaller vein on here. Just like that. I still have that on my finger. Okay, so we have all of those. We're gonna bring in, we're gonna use our XOXO. Let's do that before, and let this dry for a minute. We're gonna give it a good minute to dry. Let's grab the XOXO. Ooh, knocking things over here. And I wanna put, this card's just gonna say hello. And I'm gonna put, so in my house we always say ox ox. We do. My son-in-law got me started with that, and that's what we say. So we're just gonna put some ox oxes on there and call it a day. That is done. That is going to be the inside of our card. Trying to give things just a second to, and that's a little tone on tone with Pear Pizzazz. Trying to give things a little second to cool down. We're also going to need a little scrap of basic white paper, and we're going to stamp hello in Mossy Meadow. Hello. I'm just going to give it a little hello. Perfect. And we'll be trimming that right up. because that's what we do here. We have all of our stamping done. All of our stamping is done. Let's punch out the 2 large leaves. I'm going to set this aside because we're going to trim it while we're waiting for our gold gilding. And I'm going to show you a trick that we're going to do with that tonight. There we go. 2 stamped. We're going to cut this one. And then we're going to use some liquid glue, some water, and some alcohol with painting, with a water painter. And we are going to make a mess, and it's going to be joyful and wonderful, and we're going to have such a fun time. So I have before me a block and the bits that we want to gild. I'm going to take my block and I'm going to add a little bit of liquid here. Hey, Vicki! Just a little bit of liquid adhesive. I'm sure way more than I need, but that's okay. I then have, if you were my water blend, where would you be? I had you. I brought you out. Oh, it was hiding underneath some blocks. I have mixed in here a little bit of 70% alcohol and a little bit of water. And I'm just going to squeeze. And the reason I mixed alcohol with the water was because I want it to dry fast. So come on. Give me a little water there. Let's mix it up. It's going to get kind of a funny look to it because of the alcohol, but that's okay. We're going to make a big old mess here. Let me grab my embossing not my folder, but you know, my tray. If you were my tray, where would you be? You wouldn't be any place that I would normally keep you, would you? Nope. You'd be someplace else. But I found you. Ha ha ha. All right. Well, we're going to put these bits in here. We're going to take a little bit of our inked water, or adhesive to water, glue to water, and we're just going to paint some spots on our leaves. Just painting some spots on them. And because it's glue and or alcohol and water, it will stay sticky for a minute so that we can do our fun here. That's okay, Debbie. The party doesn't start till you get here. We're being a little creative here. We're using some gold gilding and making a mess. Just making a mess. So I've just kind of slathered it on there, and then I'm going to give it a good rub with my hard brush. See, it just gives it just enough, just a touch. And then we'll take another one, and we're going to brush it again. And we're going to let these dry for a minute. Isn't that cool? Just a little bit of zhuzh. We can come back and we can add some more if we want. I just noticed that there was a piece laying here. Oh, look at that. There we go. That one might get a little more zhuzh on it. And we have our last leaf that we're doing. The gold gilding lasts forever. And I haven't even looked at the new catalog to know if it's in there. So I will be looking for that tonight. So we have a couple of bits on there. I'm just going to add a little bit more of my glue that I just literally wiped that glue, water, alcohol combination on there. Just to add a little bit more zhuzh. And we're going to come back to our first one, do that as well. Just kind of giving it some more zhuzh. Dun, 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 dun. So nobody's told me what they're doing for Easter. You know Easter is coming right up, right? Huh. I don't know how it snuck up on me, but it's the 9th of April. All right, so we've got some leaves done. We're going to do the same type of zhuzhing to our piece of Mossy Meadow embossed paper. Just because I thought we'd add a little bit of razzle dazzle. And I am not being careful. I'm not worrying about it. I'm just kind of pushing it around. That alcohol does make it dry pretty fast. And then we're just brushing it. Just dry brushing. What are you thinking? Do you like it, girls? Can you give me a thumbs up or a heart or a smile? Let me know what you think. And of course, I'll clean my block off later. It will wash right off. There is our zhuzhed piece. You can save this. You can throw it away. Oh, now I have gold everywhere in the house. And maybe I should put some gold in my hair and go back to being blonde. Oh, there we go. I feel blonde some days. So, easy peasy. But look, we'll just rinse that right off of our block. We will wash out our brush. But isn't that cool? I just love that look. Here we go. We get all of our gold speckled pieces. We get gold speckles everywhere. Oh, I'm gonna be sparkly for days. Trying to get some of the gold off of my hand. It is different. It is different, Susan. But I thought it was kind of fun. Kind of now. Kind of wow. Let's grab our little guillotine here. Now let's pop our little hello in here and let's line it up. And I think maybe at 3/4 of an inch. Chomp, chomp. Nope. I'm gonna come over to, this is gonna be about 1.5 inches. Just cleaning up our edges. Just saying hello. Get rid of some of our bits. All right, if you were our card base, where would you be? We have our card, but where's our card base? We had one. Just don't know what I did with it. Oh, look, I set it way over here out of the way. So we're going to do a Z-fold card with this, which means that we are 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we're just going to fold back the front edge. Just fold it back. We're going to pop in our piece that we have for the inside of our card. That can be XOXO or it can be OXOX, whichever you prefer, whichever way you put it on your card. Just wanting to bring some of that love into the card. This could be great for just a hello card. You could turn it into a birthday card. We're going to pop pop our bits over on the inside. Just like that. Oh, now I do have glue all over me. We're gonna lay our piece on kind of evenly from side to side. So we're just gonna add adhesive on one side here. Line up our card base. There we go. We have a piece of the gold and the rose gold. This happens to be just the gold 6x6 paper. And I like the contrast in the colors, and that these lines are going one way and the lines in the striation in the DSP goes the other. And we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive to that. Pop it right into the middle of our card. Then I'm going to trim. I didn't trim ahead of time because I want to make sure that I go all the way to the edge. Here we go. Now let's add our leaves. Of course, more gold. We are just gold queens tonight. All right. I don't know what I did. There they are. I flipped them upside down. That can't be. That doesn't work for me when they're upside down. I don't know where my dimensionals are. That makes me nervous. Of course, lots of dimensionals tonight. You know, if you can use one, 14 is better. In my book, that's how it works. So we're gonna pop on our little leaves. We're going to go right over the edge of our bits here. And one more. Kind of tuck it right in there. And of course our hello. We'll tuck our hello right kind of here so it's covered. Just pulling out a little peak of that gold. Maybe we'll trim this. Maybe tonight I'm going to trim this because I want to add a gold ribbon. Do I want to add a gold ribbon? Let's see. Do we want to add a gold bow, or do you feel like that's too much gold? That might be a little much, but we're going to make it anyway. I'm just going to flip our ribbon around. You girls are very quiet tonight. Let's see what we think about this. So yeah, so I know I bombarded everybody with email today. I don't normally do that, but I just had to get so much information out there. So tell me, ribbon or rhinestones? Ribbon or rhinestones? Can you tell me ribbon or rhinestones? While you're telling me that, I'm going to clean up a little bit of the mess so that we can work on our last card. Ribbon or rhinestones? That's what I need to know. Ribbon or rhinestones? Oh, both. Oh, both. Oh, you weren't sure about the bits, but you like it together, Joyce. Awesome. Ribbon or rhinestones? That's what I need to know. Ribbon or rhinestones? Ribbon or rhinestones? Okay, so we got, I gotta go back and look. We got ribbon, both, ribbon, both. Okay, both has got it. We're gonna do both. I'm gonna shorten this up just a skosh. Pull it down. Fluff our bow. We're gonna do ribbon and rhinestones. There we go. Sorry to those of you that voted just one. We're gonna do both. Nothing wrong with both. We're gonna grab a little glue dot. put our glue dot right here on the corner of hello and put our ribbon on, kind of at an angle. Trim our bow, and let's grab some rhinestones. The rhinestones I think will kind of soften out a little bit. So let's put a rhinestone here, and let's do one on the opposite side of hello, and then let's do an itty bitty one right up there. How's that? That's our third card we got, and this is the one that took the longest. So our last card we have to do is coming right up. We got a garden green card base, and I cut this card base right before I changed the blade in my trimmer. So we're just going to take a little emery board and clean up the edge. That's done. We've got 2 pieces of basic white cardstock, one for the outside, one for the inside. We've got another piece of garden green, and a piece of garden green with scrap, and a piece of, oh, what color is this? Crushed curry. So let's do some stamping, and we are going to stamp a bunch of stuff. We're going to stamp a bunch of stuff. I'm going to stamp a bunch of stuff all at the same time. But first I want to use my Radiating Stitches dies. And I want to cut, oh, I just have a tickle in my throat. I think I've been talking too much. I want to cut from this piece here, one radiating stitch piece that's going to go on our layers. So let me get that cut with lickety split. I'm going to stand up, come over here, talk amongst yourselves, talk about the cards we're doing, tell me what you think. I'm grabbing all my bits that I need. I'm going to whip it right through like it's nobody's business. Here we go. Oh, shaking the table. Oh, did you hear that crack? That is such a satisfying sound for those of us that craft. We love that. We need to now create some leaves. We got all these bits. All of our bits are there. So let's, oh, you want to see the card we're making? This is it. We're going to do some layers underneath layers. We're going to add all kinds of different color leaves. So let's get busy. We're going to make our own designer series paper. We're going to start with our lightest color first, which I think is going to be Granny Apple Green. And our big old leaf die, or stamp. And we're going to just pop some on here. We're going to say 1, 2, doing different colors, different spots. You never know what we're coming up with. We got some Granny Apple diamonds. Now we are only going to do one side of this piece. So remind me, I got to stay over here. Thank you for saying it's a beautiful card. So let's put another one on. We've got some Granny Apple Green. Perfecto. Let's put on some, trying to go in order of lightness so I don't have to clean my stamp because that's how lazy I am. Let's do a little parakeet party because it's a whole different color. But it's awesome sauce. Oh, well, that was, good thing that's going underneath something. There we go. Some parakeet party. Next color in our color wheel is going to be some pear pizzazz. Garden green's going to be last because we're going to do some other leaves with that. So we're going to add a little pear pizzazz, some pear pizzazz, some pear pizzazz. Let's stamp off and put a little more pear pizzazz on here. Perfect. What are we going to use next? Let's use some Mossy Meadow because our last color is going to be our garden green. So we're going to stamp off some Mossy Meadow. Let's see how colored. Can you see where I got onto? That's kind of cool. Drop my stamp, and you never know what you're going to get when you drop a stamp. We can come right over here, add some more color, add a little bit of more Mossy Meadow on here. We don't have any Mossy Meadow on here, but it looks like we did. All right, let's put the Mossy Meadow away. We're going to come back. Well, we need a scrap of paper. Hold everything. We need a scrap of paper because I forgot we got to do a couple of leaves. So we need this. Let's do a little granny apple green. We're going to do a granny apple green. We got to give some veins. We're going to do a granny apple green leaf. Can you see what I'm doing here? Am I out completely out of your way? Let's give it a little more color. Let's do a little more on that edge. There's our granny apple green. I like that color. Now, garden green. Garden green is our last one for the day. We are clearly going to stamp one leaf in garden green, another leaf in garden green. We're going to chop off our bits here with some garden green. And here. Do you see how when I'm stamping, I'm getting lighter spots and darker spots I'm leaving behind so that we can just have some beautiful colors on here. And we're just going to do a tip right down here. There could be one there. And we're going to add a little garden green to this one because I feel like we have dark colors. We're going to add some light brightness to our card. Get dark and we're going to add bright. Okay. Now it's not leaf time, it's rib time. Everybody likes ribs. They don't need to do them all, but we're going to do some of them. We're going to give this one a rib. We're going to give these guys a rib. They're not exactly on center, but leaves aren't always on center. There we go. Let's put a couple ribs on the inside of our card. 1, 2. Let's give a rib here. And maybe a rib here. I'm going to move some out of the way so we can bring some other ones in. Let's pop a rib right on here. And let's add a rib down here. I'm making riblets. And we need a couple more ribs on this guy. We don't have to worry too much about the inside, but we're getting some of the outside edges here because that's what's going to peep. That's what's going to peep on our card. Here we go. Couple more. Oh, we're after 8 o'clock. Girls, I'm sorry, I'm keeping you late, but once I got going on this card, I couldn't stop. Couldn't stop. Let's put it together. We need some punch. Everybody needs punch. Whoops. Slow down. It's not a race. Girls, if you have to go, I understand, but for those of you, oh, I forgot to tell everybody that Jen Reed won the cards. I reached out to her and got an address so I could pop them in the mail. I will be, so when you like, share, stay till the end. I'll be doing a drawing for some of these cards Sunday night for Stampin' Mystery Stamping, and I'll make the announcement then. So there's some leaves for our card. We have one more thing to do, and we have a piece of, there it is, a piece of bits here. We want our hello again, and our garden green. We're gonna just pop on a little hello. So this video will go up in the morning on my YouTube channel and right here on Facebook. I wanted to trim. We're going to go opposite directions this time. Kind of making a point. And on this side, I need this card. This side will flag. Well, for Pete's sake, I didn't cut very straight. There we go. Now we got it. There's all of our bits. Let's put our card together. We're going to lay this. I love layers. If you didn't know that about me, I love layers on cards. I think that layers are what make a card. So we have our, just knocked some pieces onto the floor, hit my head on the board, on the keyboard. I have some more bits that I forgot that I had made. So let's put our card together. I want to play. Last. I really think that I could do this much faster if I didn't talk to you. Oh, so here we go. Here's our last card we're putting together for the night. There's our inside. Where's our piece of designer series paper we created for the outside with our messy edges, but nobody's going to see, nobody knows what's going on the back side. So perfect. I want to turn it around though. Just like that. We have a piece of vellum around here somewhere. Somewhere over my rainbow, way up high, birds fly over my rainbow, why, oh then why can't I? We got a little piece here, needs a little trim, about like that. Oh, gotta trim a little more. I know, I'm being kind of casual about it, but it's just a piece of paper. And we're gonna add this with some adhesive right in the middle. We have used, I love this paper. I love this vellum with the sweet little design to it. And we have our layer that goes over the top so it hides our adhesive that's on our, yeah, that's the one it's on. That's on our vellum. Let's pop on some clearly. Stick them on. Stick them on here. So I'm looking at the color I have up here, and I have that parakeet party up there. So I want to put a little bit of a darker, we're going to come up a little bit darker there, and trying to round out our colors a little. And we're going to pop another leaf here. I'm going to put dimensionals just on the edges of our tag we made, which brings in just a little bit of that color to our paper, so it's not all greens, just giving it a little shimmer and shine. Our hello, and then of course our leaf that's going to pop right on the top, just like that. Our rhinestones, let's do a couple of rhinestones. And of course we're going to add our gold ribbon. Oh, I want to move this one. I want to put my ribbon there. So let's do a rhinestone up here and maybe a rhinestone right there. Bring in our gold ribbon again. We're going to give it a little, I just love this. This is going to really connect that crushed curry. Well, I didn't tie that one very well, but I caught it. I want it to be bigger. I want it to be a fluffy ribbon, not a weenie ribbon. Trying to get it here. Trying to come off. Here we go. Untie. Untie, because you didn't tie the way I liked you. So the gold brings out the crushed curry, and the crushed curry just pops our rhinestones and our gold ribbon. Now I definitely could have done this with the silver ribbon as well, but when you place that order in the next 2 days, with using the host code that I'm emailed to everybody tonight, I'm going to send you the package of silver and gold ribbon, and you can choose, and the cards, all 4 cards, all cut. You'll just need to pop them together, and using your ink and stamps. I can't send stamped images. Stampin' Up doesn't allow that for your $50 order. So there we go. There is card number 4. So we did 4 gorgeous cards tonight. Here's card number 2. Everybody, people weren't sure about this one. I know you weren't sure, but it turned out fine. This was our thanks so much card. 3, I just love, I'm obsessed with this stamp set this week. Every week I have an obsession, and this is my obsession this week. So ladies, there they are. Mystery Stamping has posted, and you will see everything that you need to see. I have attached in an email the retiring list. So take a look at that, and I will see all of you right here on Sunday for Mystery Stamping. Bye.